In the lively streets of Lagos, wealth and power were the golden keys that opened every door. And no one embodied this more than Oluwadare Bamidele, a man who had climbed to the top of the economic ladder through sheer ruthlessness. At 41, Bamidele was one of Nigeria's wealthiest businessmen, known for his luxurious estates, fleet of exotic cars, and his strong views. To him, women were commodities, only useful for pleasure, decoration, and nothing else. Bamidele was the epitome of arrogance. He took pride in his ability to control everyone around him, especially women. He viewed them as tools to be used and discarded at his convenience. His wealth granted him access to the most beautiful women, but he was never satisfied. He found pleasure in lauding his dominance over them, reinforcing the belief that without men, women were powerless. One evening at a grand business gala, Bamidele arrived in his usual swagger, his eyes scanning the room for his next conquest. He enjoyed this event not just for the networking, but for the opportunity to find women who would bask in his wealth and status. That evening, however, someone else captured the attention of the room, a young woman named Amaka, known far and wide for her beauty. Amaka was mesmerizing. At 34, she was not only beautiful, but carried herself with a grace that left people speechless. Her skin was dark, smooth like cocoa, and her curves were the envy of many. Her most striking feature, however, was her figure, her hips and buttocks, which seemed to define nature, commanded attention. Men couldn't take their eyes off her. As soon as she walked into a room, head stunned, conversation stopped. She had an aura of mystery that fascinated everyone, but Amaka was no ordinary woman. Bamidele's eye immediately locked on her. To him, Amaka was just another prize, an object of his lust, and he was determined to have her. He watched as men tried to win her attention, offering to buy her drinks, complimenting her beauty, but Amaka paid them no mind. Her air of indifference only fueled Bamidele's interest. He approached her confidently, flashing a charming but predatory smile. "Good evening, beautiful," he began, his voice dripping with arrogance. "I couldn't help but notice that you are the most stunning woman here tonight. I'm Bamidele. Perhaps you've heard of me?" Amaka looked at him briefly, her face revealing little emotion. "Yes, I have heard of you," she responded calmly, her voice soft yet firm. Her tone wasn't dismissive, but it wasn't encouraging either. Bamidele took her response for interest. Amaka's smile faded. She knew men like Bamidele, men who thought their wealth entitled them to everything, including women. But Amaka wasn't the kind of woman who could be bought. She had grown up in a humble village where women were seen as the backbone of the community. Her mother had raised her to be proud, to know her worth, and to never let a man reduce her to an object. Bamidele, oblivious to her inner strength, continued, "Let's be real. With a body like yours, you are wasting your time on these small boys. You need a real man who can afford you." Amaka's gaze sharpened, and for a moment the room seemed quiet around her. She stepped closer to Bamidele, her voice lowering but carried a weight that made him pause. "Bamidele," she said softly, "I know who I am, and I know what I'm worth. You think because you have money you can own me? That you can buy me like a piece of jewelry?" The smile faded from Bamidele's face. He wasn't used to being spoken to this way, especially not by a woman. "You see," Amaka continued, "the problem with men like you is that you believe your wealth gives you power over women. But true power comes from within, not from money. You may be rich, but you are weak, because you have no respect for anyone who cannot serve your ego." Bamidele was stunned. For the first time in a long while, he found himself speechless. No woman had ever spoken to him this way. Amaka's voice softened, but it carried the same strength. "I'm not for sale. My body, my beauty, it's all mine, not yours to possess. You cannot buy me with cars or houses because I know my value. And I won't lower it to fit your shallow idea of what a woman should be." She turned and walked away, leaving Bamidele standing there, a mixture of anger and confusion brewing inside of him. The men who had been watching, expecting Bamidele to win Amaka, whispered among themselves, shocked at how easily she had dismantled his advances. Days passed, and the encounter haunted Bamidele. He couldn't stop thinking about Amaka, not because he still wanted her, but because she had exposed a truth he had long denied. His wealth and power had always shielded him from facing his own weaknesses. He had always believed that women were beneath him, tools for his pleasure and pride. But Amaka had shown him that true strength had nothing to do with money and everything to do with self-respect. Slowly, something shifted in him. He began to reflect on how he had treated the women in his life, from the mistresses he discarded to the employees he belittled. For the first time, he felt a pang of guilt, a realization that his wealth had blinded him to the humanity of others. One day, he found himself walking into a women's empowerment seminar, an event he would have scoffed at in the past. He sat at the back, listening to women share their stories of strength, resilience, and courage. As he listened, he realized that Amaka had not just rejected him, she had liberated him from his own ignorance. What is the moral of this story? The story of Bamidele and Amaka teaches a powerful lesson about the dangers of being very stiff with your opinions. True power comes not from wealth or status, but from the ability to respect others' attributes. Amaka's beauty was not what made her powerful, it was her understanding of her worth and refusal to let anyone reduce her to an object. Bamidele's transformation shows that even those deeply rooted in arrogance can change when they are confronted with the truth. In the end, the story reminds us that mutual respect and equality are the foundations of any meaningful relationship, and that true strength lies not in domination but in understanding and valuing.